Yes.
Right, let's start then. It's just gone 11. So good morning, everybody, from a lovely Redbourn, and good morning to our people dialing in from lovely Harpenden, which we'll cover in a moment, the wonderful Sarah. My name's Simon, and I'm delighted to welcome everyone joining today's Zoom Live, and also to say hello to the large number of people who watch and listen to it later on Facebook or on our website. The Active in Redbourn team all hope you enjoy it. The usual brief housekeeping message. I get really bored saying this, by the way, but apparently I'm told that I ought to. People joining are automatically muted with their video turned off. And if you want to preserve your anonymity still further, you can change your name in Zoom. You can use the chat function to send messages. And I'm very excited because I did actually have some chat today. So thank you for Ben and BB for telling me how to pronounce it, and also reminding me or telling me what the life with the Lions is, which stimulated some interesting conversation. This is now being live streamed to the Redbourn Facebook page and is now going global. And it may even be on the Active in Redbourn website already if our IT director's got that organised. IT director and producer, anything else I need to say?
No, it's just that remind people it does go out to Active in Redbourn Live, and the recording goes out afterwards to Redbourners.
Thank you very much. That's a sort of a gentle rebuke from my producer there for forgetting to say that. Sorry, producer. Right, we have another interesting programme today, and of course it's a momentous day in the life of the Snatchups, which we'll come to later. But first of all, I'd like to talk to the wonderful Sarah from Harpenden. Good morning again, Sarah from Harpenden.
Good morning. Wonderful now. Oh, well, that's just such a lovely start to it any day. So thank you. And it's lovely to see everyone again.
Now, before we start with starting your update, I have to ask you how Harpenden is today, Sarah. How is it compared, sort of relative to Redbourn?
Relative to Redbourn? Well, I'm hoping it's as you've got blue sky like we do. Today it's really it's transformed, and I'm hoping we've got some good weather on the way now, so great for next week. I think
that would be good. I'm off to Cornwall next week, so here's hoping.
I think you've probably picked the best week ever for going anywhere.
That would be great. Okay,
so have a great time.
What update have you got for us today? We're all ears.
Oh, okay, so latest, starting with vaccinating. We're currently vaccinating all those who are due their 10-week second dose. That's cohorts 1 to 9 still. Please be aware, though, we have no extra vaccines at this time for the 8 weeks. You've heard it all on the news. Oh, yes, you can get yours early. Fantastic. And we're hoping we'll get some soon, but we can't do that right now because they haven't sent us any. So as soon as we do, then people will be able to get in that little bit earlier. But one thing we do have is this Saturday, that's the 22nd, we've got a walk-in clinic. So it's the 23rd. Sunday, sorry, did I say Saturday? Oh gosh, got to get that right. Sorry, my companion near me.
Now.
Sunday the 22nd of May. So from 10 a.m. For any of our PCN patients who are due a second AstraZeneca vaccine, we'll allow those who they must bring the vaccination card because they'll need to have proof that they have had one before, and that they had their first vaccine at least before the 1st of April. And also be aware that we will have to close the doors at absolutely on time, so no one will be allowed in the hall from 1:30. As you know, nationally, age 36-37 are able to have their first vaccines, which is fantastic. These can only be booked through the national booking service. So that's either through 119 or online, the government online service. Harpenden Halls is a venue you can choose. So we're on there. So all you need is name, date of birth. You don't need your NHS number. You can just tick, I don't know my NHS number, unless you've got it, of course. So all booking is through that now. We have no access anymore to the booking service. So if you want to book, you have to now go through the national booking service. Please don't ring the practice because we don't have access anymore. That's been taken away. Keep looking on our Facebook, Twitter feed, Instagram for all our latest. It's on our websites. On a just slightly different note, very quickly, the PCN practices, the Elms Medical Practice, Davenport House and Village, the latest news that we all heard it through the news, by the way, we don't hear it up front, but on Monday, the 17th of May, GP practices were reopening. But as you know, all our practices have been open throughout the whole of the pandemic. We've offered telephone appointments, face-to-face appointments whenever they've been needed. In order, though, to maintain social distancing and infection control in line with the government guidelines, we are asking all patients to continue using the current methods to access the surgeries. All our surgeries operate intercom systems where you can speak directly to reception, and they will monitor how they bring people in. You will be coming in, but we have to keep it very careful. We can't just open the doors. We need to be able to keep the staff safe and the patients safe. We have got this new strain that we've seen, and we have to be still very careful. So we're waiting for the national guidance on this, and we are facing, I've been here 25 years and I have never seen the demands on our service that we have at the moment. I've never seen it. We are trying our best to make sure that all our clinicians and staff, we support all our patients and those that need it the most. And I'll keep you updated on this week by week. But we just want everyone to be safe and looked after. And so a big thank you to everyone for all your support and kindness. And that goes from me and all the practice. Thank you.
What a lovely message. I mean, if only every day started like that, Sarah. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
That's a pleasure.
Now, do you just want to give us that date again that you
the said? One that I completely...
The one that you got... I didn't want to say you got it horribly wrong. I wouldn't say that on air.
I told you it's this general anaesthetic that I had. It's still messing with me.
You haven't had any gin?
Yes, no gin. Need gin. It is this Sunday, which I believe is the... no, I don't say a date now.
22nd.
22nd. It is this Sunday, the 22nd. Come along at 10 a.m. for your second AstraZeneca vaccine. As long as you've had it before the 1st of April, and you bring your card with you to state that you've had the second one, then the first one rather, then that we will see you. There'll be, we'll get you in. Doors shut at 1:30, so please make sure you get there in plenty of time. And just so you know, and one more thing, Simon, sorry, that NHS app, you can now see your vaccines on there. So that's your little COVID passport, because we can't do certificates. GPs aren't able to do that. We're not allowed to. So you can just get your NHS app and see your vaccines on there and go, there you go. There's my jobs.
Thank you very much. Well, Sarah, thank you very much for joining us. I hope the general anaesthetic wears off. Have some gin tonight, maybe.
I think at the weekend. By
the way, I'm being told, sorry, Ben and Bibi are brilliant today. We have to have them on every week. Telling me that Sunday is actually the 23rd. So I got the date wrong.
I told you I needed to look
everybody.
It up. Take care. Thank you.
Thanks. It's the 23rd. Yes, we're not the BBC, as I think I've often said. So clearly, it's all going horribly wrong on dates today. Anyway, thank you, Sarah. Catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Now, I suppose what I describe as the triumph of hope over experience, I'm going to see if young Chris Emmel has managed to get in on his phone today. So, young Chris, are you out there?
Good morning, Simon.
Good, Chris. I'm shocked. I just need to lie down for a minute. You've actually managed to do this on your phone remotely.
I know. I'm riding a unicycle at the moment as well. It's very, very jeopardous.
And I see when you speak, actually, I get the little yellow thing comes around the iPhone. So you're actually iPhone today.
I'm on an iPhone. Lorena is getting a jab, and so we're on our way to get a jab.
Fantastic. Well, Chris, I don't want to keep you from the jab then. I think you're going to tell us a little bit about the Fun Day, which is obviously looming ever nearer.
Yes, actually. I mean, it's on Saturday, July the 3rd. I can confirm that today.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely July the 3rd. And it runs from 11 until 4. It's open to all on the day, and there are many events. And I don't know if gobsmacked is hyphenated, but it's certainly appropriate. The number of people that have really come through and turned up trumps to make it a great day. We've got gymnastics. We've even got bagpipes. We've got the smallest ice cream factory in the world. We've got Dwyle flonking. We've got coconut shies. There's over 30 different things for people to do and have some fun with. So I'm actually really quite excited. And it's going very well at the moment. I'm not too complacent, but it's looking good. I'm getting a little bit worried because it's a lot bigger than I was expecting.
Thanks, Chris. Do we need any help from anybody who might be listening? Are we all? Is everything under control?
Everything's reasonably under control. I think the one thing we might need is some help on the day and maybe the day before for moving stuff around. So if anybody feels a little bit strong and wants to move a few bits and pieces around, they contact me on my mobile. And I'll give it you now. It's 0770 863 864. 0770 863 864. Or go onto the Active in Redbourn website and email us at info@activeinredbourn.
Thanks, Chris. Brilliant update. And I think Rachel's going to give us a bit more detail now. So I guess I should leave you and Lorena to get on with her jab. Hope that goes well.
Yeah. We're jabbing.
Thank you.
Have a lovely jab, Lorena, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks very much. Rachel, are you still out there?
I'm here as well, yes.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you've done about a 100k run this morning, am I right?
Yes. The reason I'm not on camera, as Will can attest to, because I think we waved at each other this morning, didn't we? Yes, I have just come back from a run, so I don't think it would be appropriate to be on camera just right now. But yes, I was just going to update you. So for the fun day, we're going to have lots and lots of different activity stalls, which will be fantastic. And as Chris alluded to, most people who've spoken to have just said yes. It's been one of those amazing things where everyone's jumped on board. I think everyone's ready for an event, which is fantastic. Yeah. So we're going to have these stalls, and then we're going to have a main stage or arena area in the middle, and we're going to have various performances on that arena. I think you guys are trying to call it the pyramid stage. I feel like that's probably a little bit, but yes, we're going to have an arena area, hopefully surrounded by hay bales that people can sit on. And we've already got loads of great confirmed acts. So we've got absolutely loads going on and loads in the pipeline, but I was just going to name a couple. There's all sorts more, but Chris said bagpipes. We're going to start off with a guy playing the bagpipes to pipe us in. And then we've got a karate demonstration. So one of the karate schools is going to come along and show us what they've been up to. We've also had Sardi, the gymnastics up at the rep confirmed. And they're really, really excited because one of their performance teams hasn't been able to perform all year. And normally they get to go along and do some stages. So they're really, really excited about being able to do a live performance. And I think I'm okay with revealing that that's going to be Annie. So that should be really sweet. So I think that's little ones, I believe.
Very good.
The other thing, which is for little ones, is we're going to do a story time for preschoolers. So bring along your preschoolers. We'll put up the times nearer the time, but we're going to have someone who's a fantastic reader, if you know Cara Brazier, who can entertain everyone. She's going to do a lovely story time. We also have a netball demo match. So it's the Redbourn Red Kites versus TBC. We're not entirely sure who they're going to play, but we're going to get a team along to play the Red Kites. As I say, we're working on all sorts of other things. We're hoping to get Bounce there and some other great performances. But until they're confirmed, I'll hold off and update you at a later stage.
Brilliant, Rich. And shall we get the date right this time? It is Saturday, July the 3rd.
That's correct, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rachel.
No worries. Thanks, Simon.
Enjoy your post 100k run shower, whatever you're about to do.
Will do.
Oh, and Rachel, while you're on with, there's no Redbourn Recommends today, is there?
No, that's right.
Super duper, thank you. Okay, neat cue then into Will, who has been out sprinting Rachel, I think, this morning across the common. Will, just tell us about your race with Rachel this morning.
Well, she still beat me. I was in the car and she was on foot, so very impressive.
She beat you.
I was heading to cover the communion service in Markyate, the 10 o'clock service. So, the congregation there were relieved that I hadn't run up to Markyate to take the service because I wouldn't have been able to speak and I'd have been a smelly mess. So
how was your running going, by the way? I haven't asked you for a while. How was your running going? Dare I ask?
Yeah, no, it's okay. Up and down, but like the weather. But yeah, no, okay, not too bad. I have actually noticed I've lost a little bit of weight, so something must be happening. So that's good. Yeah, it's
very good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, have you got any thoughts for us today? We're very much looking forward to whatever you've got to say to us on this wonderful day.
Lovely. Yeah. was just thinking, many schools split their pupils into houses and run competitions in various forms through the course of the year to try and win a house cup, and they have house captains and house prefects and that sort of thing. It's always quite interesting to see what names the houses have in the various schools. Are these to be titans of literature or music or great figures from history, chosen to stir the emotions and inspire the heart? Well, at my old secondary school, we had 4 houses. It wasn't a church school, but we had schoolhouse. And then we had 3 other houses, all named after religious figures. Aldhelm, Bede, which was my house, and Dunstan. The trouble was that I don't think the teenage boys knew much about these figures. I certainly didn't. And so how much inspiration they drew is hard to say. But today happens to be the feast day of Dunstan. So I thought I'd say something about him. Dunstan was born near Boltonsborough, and we've already had it mentioned, near Glastonbury in Somerset. So there's a link in our programme this morning. He was born around 910, the son of a noble family. He received a good education and spent time in the court of the King of Wessex at that time. But an uncle urged him to enter the monastic life, something he didn't do straight away, but having recovered from a period of illness, he then did follow that advice. So returning to Glastonbury, Dunstan lived as a monk, devoting his work time to creative pursuits, illuminating manuscripts, to music and to metalwork. He was reputedly a skilled blacksmith and jeweler, and is generally venerated as the patron saint of smiths. As an aside, his association with silversmithing meant that for a good 600 years, the London Assay Office hallmark ran from the 19th of May, today, his feast day, until the 18th of May the following year. This was only then changed in 1660 when King Charles II moved it to his own birthday, the 29th of May. So there's an obscure bit of trivial knowledge. But anyway, there are several legends associated with Dunstan and the devil, in the most famous of which he resists temptation and then tweaks Lucifer's nose with a hot pair of smithing tongs. And there's a folk rhyme that goes with that. St. Dunstan, as the story goes, once pulled the devil by the nose with red-hot tongs that made him roar that he was heard 3 miles or more. Well, leaving that to one side, in the year 943, the new king made Dunstan abbot, and this launched a great revival of monastic life in England. Starting with Glastonbury, Dunstan with his colleagues restored discipline to several monasteries and promoted studying and teaching. And then under 2 later kings, he rose to political and ecclesiastical eminence, becoming the Archbishop of Canterbury under King Edgar. This enabled him and his followers to extend those reforms wider across the whole of the English Church. He's reputed to be the author of the Coronation Oath. And in 970, Dunstan fell from political favour, but continued as Archbishop of Canterbury, teaching and preaching until he died in the year 988. There's much that we don't know about Dunstan, but there is a rather wonderful passage from an unknown author writing at about that sort of time that describes his life and work in a rather sort of passionate, floral and admiring way. And I'd like to read an extract now. I think it's rather beautifully written. It goes like this. Dunstan diligently studied the books of the Irish pilgrims to Glastonbury, meditating on the path of the true faith, and always explored with critical scrutiny the books of other wise men which he perceived from the deep vision of his heart to be confirmed by the assertions of the Holy Fathers. Thus he controlled his way of life so that as often as he examined the books of the divine scriptures, God spoke with him. Indeed, as often as he was released from secular cares and delighted with leisure for prayer, he seemed himself to speak with God. Among his sacred studies of literature, he also diligently cultivated the art of writing, that he might be sufficient in all things, and the art of harp playing, and also skill in painting. He was, so to speak, a skilled investigator of all useful things, a phrase I'll come back to. At length, when King Athelstan was dead and the condition of the kingdom changed, the authority of the succeeding king, namely Edmund, ordered the blessed Dunstan, who was of approved way of life and erudite conversation, to appear before him, that he might be chosen and numbered among the royal courtiers and chief men of the palace. Not rashly resisting these orders, but rather remembering the Lord's command, he hastened to render to the king these things that were the king's, and to God the things that were God's. Throughout his life, it was his chief care to occupy himself constantly and frequently in sacred prayers and in the 10-stringed psalmody of God, or to pass the night in vigils, overcoming sweet sleep, or to sweat and labour in the concerns of the church, or also, when he could, see the first light of daybreak, to correct faulty books, erasing the errors of the scribes, or giving judgment with a keen intelligence between individuals, to distinguish the true from the false, or by calm words to bring to harmony and peace all who were at enmity or quarrelling, or to benefit with his kind support widows, orphans, pilgrims and strangers in their necessities, or to dissolve by just separation foolish or wrongful marriages, or to strengthen by the word of life or by the example the whole human order, triply divided in its proper and stable design, or with serene probity to support and enrich the churches of God by just contribution of his own procuring or from other sources, or to season with the celestial salt, that is, with the teaching of wholesome knowledge, the ignorant of both sexes, men and women, whoever he could, by day and night. Thus it was that the English land was filled with Dunstan's holy teaching, shining before God and mortals alike as the sun and moon. When he resolved to render to Christ the Lord the due hours of his service and celebration of masses, he so performed and recited them with his whole soul that he seemed to speak face to face with the Lord himself, even though beforehand he may have been much vexed by the agitated disputes of people. And as often as he fitly and splendidly discharged any other duties of his episcopal office, he always did so with a great flow of tears, which the invisible indweller, the Holy Spirit, who constantly dwelt in him, mightily drew forth from the rivers of his eyes. Well, there we are.
Wow.
If even half of what this writer describes is true, then we can see why Dunstan would have been an inspired choice for pupils to emulate in a secondary school house, so that we with them, encouraged by Dunstan, would also be skilled investigators of all useful things.
Where do I start? What a fantastic guy.
Yeah, it's quite something. I'm sure there's some embellishment and slightly sort of over romanticized sort of account going on there, but nonetheless.
And on top of all that, I think in the middle of all that, when you said he played the harp as well.
Yeah.
And he tweaked the devil's nose, which maybe more could have been made of that one.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so he's still remembered, and today he appears in the church calendar as somebody that we might take good example from.
Absolutely, I'd love to see his CV. I bet he couldn't beat Rachel in a sprint, though. I'm guessing.
Absolutely, he wouldn't.
Or knowing him, he probably could actually, but he's a pretty talented guy. Well, thank you very much, Will. Wonderful, wonderful update. Before you go, actually, I think if I'm getting this right, my producer might tell me off, but are you going to tell us a little bit about Pims on the Beers and Pims?
Pims and Hymns.
Pims and Hymns, that's it, yes.
Yeah, no, that's right. So we're looking forward to that. We've got a little bit of fleshing out of the format and the plans, but Thursday, the 24th of June, and that is the correct day of the week, and it is the correct date.
Well done.
Thursday, the 24th of June, in the evening, probably starting at around 8 o'clock, a sort of a middle of the year version of Carols and Beer. So a chance for us to enjoy being outside with some singing and a glass of Pims, but other drinks are available.
And is it just no tickets required? Will people just rock up like they do with the carols? Yeah.
Yeah, admission is free, but it might cost you to get out in terms of a charitable donation. There will be a sort of a whip round for a charity or good cause, but no, it's admission's free. It's at the cricketers outside in their marquee area. So we look forward to that, a chance for us sort of after lockdown, once all the current restrictions have eased further. If they do, there is obviously a caveat.
Sure, yeah.
If things need to be kind of put on hold, the dates get delayed, this may not be permitted, but the plan at the moment is good to go.
Lovely, thanks, Will. Well, I'm really looking forward to that, and another wonderful update. I shall be thinking about Dunstan all the. Is it? Do I say St Dunstan? Is that the right term, or
St Dunstan?
St Dunstan. I shall be thinking about him all day, tweaking the nose, playing the harp, and doing just about everything.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks very much, Will. I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
And neat segue then into our producer, who I think is going to give us a little bit of update about what's new. Is that right, Olive?
Yes, it is.
Good morning to you again.
Good morning. Well, there you go. Hymns and
hymns
on the first item there. Now, the next one is a call for volunteers from Redbourn in Bloom. They've got 3 weekend working parties going. The 22nd of May for taking the plants out of the planters. The 29th and the 30th for building a new planter on the junction with the Hemel Hempstead Road, and on the 5th of June for doing the summer planting. So if you could spare a little bit of time, any amount of time I think is really welcome. So please email hello@redbourninbloom.org.uk or call Pat Schofield on 793096. And the next thing I just wanted to mention is the 29th to the 31st of May. We're going to have another Herts County show, but it is going to be a cutback version. Do go online and see what it consists of. I know there's some horses there, but I haven't got the details of everything else. And of course, on July the 3rd, we've got the Redbourn Fun Day, which we've been talking about already. And please just mention the Parish Council have got a vacancy. So if you would like to contribute to the Parish Council, please apply to the clerk. And there is a picture on this slide, if you can see it, of the latest new information in Crown Street, Redbourn. This is our new 3-day-old foal.
Oh, how sweet.
So I thought you'd like to have a look at this little girl.
I thought no sort of a dig at the council then there, Olive.
No dig at the council.
I just wondered why that was there. Okay, fine. It's a lovely picture.
But she's up and walking around and just a little bit tottering on her legs at the moment. It's just a remarkable thing that these animals can get up and walk within days of being born. I just find it astounding.
Oh, how lovely. And that's just near your house, you say?
Yes, it's on the corner of Crown Street. But
lovely.
do be, I mean, lots of kids are going down to see her, but do be quiet so you don't frighten her. Right, so I'm now going to go on to Sustainability Festival next week and call on my dear husband. If you look up sustfest.org, you'll find there's 100 events being planned for the Sustainability Festival between the 23rd of May and the 6th of June. And you can also sign up, which I've done, on the Redbourn Climate Action Group to listen to Professor Kate Jeffrey explaining the climate crisis and what we can all do about it. So do take a look at that. And it's all on Zoom, of course, so it's available to everybody. And my husband is now going to talk about next week's special edition of the Community Newsbite.
Thank you, Olive. Hello, everybody. Morning to you and you, Simon. Simon's taking a break next week, so I've been tasked to host a special edition of Community Newsbite, which forms part of the festival, as Olive was saying. Our guests from outside the village include Sushil Rao, who's the project lead for the whole festival. She's going to share a few moments with us. And we've asked the Vere Valley Society, John Pritchard, and a guy called David Watts from Affinity to join us to share some perspectives on how two very different groups are approaching the hugely important topic of sustainability. with a particular focus on protecting and regenerating the River Ver between our own village, Redbourn, and Redbourn Berry Mill, and out towards St Albans. But we've also sourced some of our very own Redbourners. David Mitchell, our parish council chair, district councillor, and the guy who set up the climate action group in Redbourn, will join us. Our very own delightful tree guru, Kate Bretherton, will talk to us about the lime trees on the common. And Katie Ford, who is going to talk about food and sustainability. And all being well, we'll have a guest appearance from our very own Tim Snatchup, the eco warrior, who's going to tell us a few home truths, I suspect. So we've got a packed show. Hopefully there'll be lots of people who join us from the wider area because it's part of the overall festival. But do take an hour to join us on what is a hugely important topic. And if you're anything like me, you kind of know the word sustainability, but haven't really thought through what it means. So I'm really hopeful that we can take a best part of 45 minutes to help us learn about sustainability and what we can all do to make a difference. Time for me to shut up. Thank you for listening.
Brilliant update, Ivan. Thank you. I'm really sorry I'm going to miss that one, but I shall be in Cornwall having fun, hopefully, and enjoying some good weather. But it sounds like a really, really good show. But it'll be recorded, won't it? So we can.
I was going to say, like everybody else, you can listen to the recording.
Or you can listen to it live on Facebook.
I'll get Chris Emmel to help me with the technology there. Thank you very much, Ivan and Olive. And as we said earlier, there's no Redbourn Recommends this week, although I know there are some good ones hopefully next week. So we're now at a momentous moment, really. So can I have a quick word with, I think he's already enrolled, with Tim? Or good morning, Tim.
Yes, good morning, Simon. Yeah.
So what can I say? This is the, well, it's not quite the end of an era, is it? But it's a special moment. Can you tell us a little bit about this special moment we're about to experience?
Yeah, it is the penultimate episode. Yeah, it is with a tinge of sadness, really, that we have to take a few weekends break. But it is certainly the right decision for me after 17 episodes since the 27th of January. It's amazing how long this program's been going, actually, and how much it's done, and you know, how even the medical advice has changed right from the beginning of January, when we were in the depths of the lockdown, to now, when with all the vaccinations, it's such a good news story. But the other great thing, of course, is from Monday, you know, theatres across the country are reopening again. So many outdoor events and, you know, indoor events. And so we're doing exactly the same. So, you know, we are beginning rehearsals this week for our play in July, which is Lockdown in Little Grimley, which is, again, very funny, one-act play. It'll be great fun. Those performances are on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of July, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so hopefully, yes, we'll be publicising that. Tickets will be going on sale sometime in June. There were 6 performances, as we said before. It's a shorter play, so we're doing 2 performances each evening with 2 casts, and we will that will give us the opportunity also to space the seating a little bit more, because I think although you know, the world opens up at the beginning of June, I think people are still likely to be a little bit wary.
Sure.
And it will be nice that you know, they'll think they've got a little bit more space now they're indoors, and it's a more pleasurable environment. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. But obviously there will be a triumphant return for the final episode on the last programme on the 30th of June. We got a few loose ends to tie up. Particularly, obviously, there's the denouement today, which does need to be sorted, and then Grandad and Phil Tibbs, well, Grandad and Phil Tibbs do need. Obviously, yeah, there is that their tandem bungee jump that still needs to take place, because yeah, St Mary's is also having a fun day on the 3rd of July. So
is it really?
Yes, coincidentally.
Courage is wonderful. It's
yeah,
one of how these things work out, isn't it?
It is. It's very, very strange indeed. Yeah.
Okay, Tim. Well, I think it's probably time that we do it then. Everyone must be very excited. So we're looking forward to this penultimate episode of the wonderful Snatchups, which I can't wait to hear. So a couple of seconds delay, and then I shall read out what I've got to read out, and really looking forward to it. And now it is time to head over once again to the picturesque Hertfordshire village of St Mary's for the penultimate episode of our gripping, action-packed serial, The Snatchups. When we left it last week, Uncle Rodney had flown to Barbados to escape the Bellamy brothers after stealing a safe full of their money. Brenda, having spurned Rodney's advances, had agreed to go on holiday with Stan in the caravan, and Jane's unplanned pregnancy had turned out to be just trapped wind.
Just calm down, Grandad, and say that again.
I said someone broke into the Bellamy's office last night and stole all the money from the safe. Whoever it was must have known that they just collected together all the cash from their various illicit operations. There must have been £50,000 in there.
And they think it was Uncle Rodney?
Convinced of it. The burglar was caught on CCTV, and although he was wearing a mask, he had a distinctive mole on his left temple.
What? One that looked like the outline of the Isle of Man?
Yes.
Then it was Uncle Rodney.
Why would Rodney do it? He must have known that they would come after him. Where do you think he is?
He's flown to Barbados.
Barbados?
How do you know that?
He came to see me earlier. He tried to persuade me to go with him. He said he'd come into a large sum of money, but I had no idea that he'd stolen it. He said he was going to start a new life and asked me to go too, but I refused. And then he left, and I assume he caught the flight to Barbados as planned. I didn't think for 1 minute he might be on the run from the Bellamy brothers.
You never mentioned that you'd seen him.
I didn't think it was important.
What? Someone knocks on your door out of the blue with a suitcase full of cash and offers to fly you halfway around the world to start a new life, and you don't think it's important?
Well, I said no, didn't I? And I thought that was the end of it. How was I to know that Rodney was a villain? I think I've had a lucky escape.
You certainly have. The Bellamy brothers are going to stop at nothing to get revenge and get their money back.
Do you think they'll come round here in case they think we know something, or think we might know where Rodney's gone?
But we do know where Rodney's gone, and he came round here with the money. If the Bellamy brothers find out, they're bound to think that we knew something about it, and they'll take their revenge out on us instead.
I don't like the sound of that.
But what about those papers you've got? That evidence will put them away for years. Our get-out-of-jail-free card.
Well, there's something I need to tell you about that. As it was a covertly obtained confession, it could be inadmissible. And the Bellamy brothers have most of the local judges in their pocket, which is why they've escaped prosecution for so long. So it might not be the silver bullet we think it is.
Then what are we going to do?
We go away in the caravan right now, as far away as we can get.
But won't that look like we're running away too?
Look, the robbery has only just happened, and no one knows that Rodney was here. If we go away right now, we can just say that we weren't here and we don't know anything about it. There's no reason why they shouldn't believe us. Then hopefully by the time we return, they will have realised that Rodney has fled the country and will be far more concerned about tracking him down than worrying about us.
Right. Well, you get yourselves off as soon as possible, and I'll go and tell the Bellamy brothers that as far as I know, you left first thing this morning, so you couldn't have known anything about it. Hopefully that will throw them off the trail.
Thanks, Grandad. Luckily, we're pretty much packed already, so we can leave almost straight away. Tim, Jane, can you come down here, please? We've got something to tell you.
Oh, what is it?
Your father and I are going away for a few days, so you're going to have to fend for yourselves. And I don't want you living on takeaways.
Don't worry, Mum. Since I became a vegetarian, I've really got the hang of this cooking lark. I can crisply bake a spicy cauliflower falafel with the best of them. You're not seriously thinking about going away in that caravan? I mean, it's only the rust that's holding it together.
There's nothing wrong with that caravan. I've spent the last few days smartening it up a bit. Looks can be deceiving.
Well, let's just hope it doesn't rain. That's all I can say.
And I don't want any funny business. We know what you got up to, Jane, when Danny's parents were away, and we don't want a repeat of that.
Oh, don't worry, Mum. I've learnt my lesson. The only buns going in the oven will be Mary berries. So, where are you thinking of going?
We haven't decided yet, but we have to leave right now. We just need to put the last few things in the car. Come on, Brenda, you can give me a hand.
Well, Jane, we got the place to ourselves for a few days. I might take the band round for a practice session. What do you think?
Well, I can't help worrying about Mum and Dad. I do hope they're going to be all right. I wonder where they'll end up.
Well, here we are on Beachy Head, just the two of us. A beautiful view of the sea and, more importantly, a long way away from the Bellamy brothers.
Yes, but it's a pity you forgot to buy a new gas cylinder. Much as it's nice being away, sitting here wearing 3 jumpers and a coat, eating stale bread and cold baked beans and looking out over a rusty old oil tanker isn't exactly how I pictured it.
Well, maybe not, but at least you'd rather be here than with Uncle Rodney.
You're right. He might be in a luxury villa in Barbados, but he's not exactly living the dream if he has to spend the rest of his life sleeping with the doors firmly locked, one eye open and a pistol under his pillow.
No, not like us. Peace and quiet and nothing to threaten the tranquility.
You're right. Good night, Stan.
Good night, Brenda.
Morning, Stan.
Morning, Brenda. Where are you?
In the toilet. Did you hear a noise last night?
A noise? No. What did it sound like?
It was a loud rumbling noise, like an avalanche or something. Mind you, we were a bit preoccupied. The earth certainly moved as far as I was concerned. Why don't you pull the curtains back and have a look?
Oh, my God.
What is it?
I don't want to worry you, Brenda, but all I can see is a 500-foot drop.
What?
You know, you said the earth moved. Well, you weren't kidding. There's been a landslide. The edge of the cliff has completely disappeared. We're dangling over the precipice, balancing on a knife edge.
Do you want me to come and have a look?
No, no. Whatever you do, stay exactly where you are. The slightest movement could send us over the edge.
But I can't just stay sat on the toilet indefinitely.
Well, you're going to have to while I work out what to do. Half the caravan is balanced precariously on the edge of the cliff, and the other half is suspended in mid-air over the precipice. We're balancing each other, me at one end and you at the other. If either of us moves, it could break the equilibrium and send us crashing 500 feet to our certain deaths.
But I left the toilet roll on the kitchen table.
Oh, never mind about that. I'm going to try something. I want you to edge back on the seat as far as you can and try to counterbalance me.
Oh, Stan, I don't like this. We're tilting even further over the edge. It could go at any moment. What are we going to do?
Hang on a minute, Brenda. I got a great idea.
This is the Staff Preservation Society. This is the Staff Preservation Society.
And on that cliffhanger, we have to leave you pondering their fate for the next few weeks. Will Stan and Brenda plummet 500 feet to their certain deaths, or has Stan really got a good idea? Will the Bellamy brothers track down Uncle Rodney? And can Tim really crispy bake a spicy cauliflower falafel? All will be revealed on the 30th of June in the final thrilling episode of The Snatchups.
I'm not sure I can wait to the 30th of June for that. I mean, I was told it would be a cliffhanger, but that's literally a cliffhanger. So what a way to end it. How can we possibly be expected to go? Anyway, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. I really do hope they survive.
Yes, we said we'd leave it on a cliffhanger, and we have.
You certainly did. Well, thank you very much, guys. That's brilliant. I'm in shock. I'm quite worried now, but hopefully I'm going to be able to survive for a few more weeks. Let's hope they survive. So everybody, thank you for dialing in and listening. Thank you to all our guests, and thank you obviously to the players. Thank you to Will. Thank you to everybody that came in. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday. Don't forget, it's a wonderful sustainability special. I won't be there, but the wonderful Ivan will be hosting and will do a wonderful job, and it will be a really important show. Stay safe. Thank you, and have a good week. Catch up with you soon. Bye.
Bye.